After what happened to the Venezuelan president, I've come to believe that if the United States government decides today to remove any president in Africa, for any reason, no country, whether in Africa or in the diaspora, can stand in their way. And there's nothing, absolutely nothing, that country, that African country's military or AU can do about it. Ladies and gentlemen, if America decides to go on a removal spree of presidents across Africa today, it will be a walk in the park. Take it from me. All over the world, I believe every leader has panicked for the first time in unison over what America just did to Venezuela and its president. Ladies and gentlemen. And I say this because they've all put out statements condemning the airstrikes and the taking of the Venezuelan president by the US Army. America only sneezed and everybody is catching cold. This past weekend is one I will never forget, ladies and gentlemen. America demonstrated unchallenged power and audacity never seen before in this modern era. And no one could stand up to them. No one could stand up to them. I am still shocked even right now and wondering what the presidents of Russia, China, Iran, and Cuba are thinking. Ladies and gentlemen, if you were not investing in your military as a country in the past, this is the time to do so. Because what's coming after this is going to be more scary than what has just happened. It's either you become a friend of the US or an ally of the US or a puppet of the US, or you prepare for war. The US government's action in Venezuela suggests they will do whatever they want when it lines up with their foreign policy, and they know you cannot do anything about it. And they can do this to almost every country in the world right now. They are still the world's superpower, whether you like it or not. And the gap isn't close. The United States isn't ready to cede power to any country or to any groups of countries, be it Russia, China, or the BRICS. And for those who are hearing me for the first time, please listen to this. The United States government has continuously led the world in total military spending every year since data became available after World War II. All for this moment. Let us sink in. All for moments like this. From 1949 till date, the United States government has spent more on building their military than any country in the world. And the gap between them and the second place, China, is equivalent to threefold expenditure. And you that is watching me, you thought they didn't know what to do with their money. I guess you thought wrong. You need to wake up. Africa needs to wake up. After what happened to the Venezuelan president, I have come to believe that if the US government decides today to remove any president, whether legitimate or illegitimate president in Africa, for any reason, no country, whether in Africa or in the diaspora, can stand in their way. And there's nothing, absolutely nothing, that African country's military or AU can do about it. If America decides to go on a removal spree, I repeat, of removing presidents across Africa today, it will be a walk in the park. Why? Why? Because they can. Because they don't have any real opposition. Because they can do it and explain later. Africa is my concern. And Africa needs to wake up. Because individually, we stand no chance against any country in the world. Not to even mention the USA. No chance. We stand no chance at all. But together, we are formidable. I'm here to ask leaders of Africa one simple question. What will you do about this possibility of America's attack on you anytime, any day? What's going to be your plans for the future, knowing the possibility of the U.S. turning?
All right, Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutation to all the brothers and the few sisters that's out there. To the foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Shalom in the Hebrew. which means peace. I guess the Spirit just wanted to stop it right there. So you heard it from this man. I never heard him. I never seen him before, but I was listening to him, and this is a cry of a certain part of the world. He made a beautiful statement. He said, Russia and China, they're looking like what else to do, proving that the Lord really is not around.
On you, the very resource.
Hold on, let me hold that. I don't know why I did that for it. But Russia and China, I was going to say something, but they're not in fear. They're just prepping up. So he's saying that they didn't do nothing about this because it was all threats. A lot of it was just a bunch of threats. Give back Maduro and all this other stuff. But what's really happening is a buildup. You see, Trump, Nero 47 opened the door to endless possibilities that China and Russia can do. And the reason why things are the way it is right now, because this is the word I was trying to carefully say, but you know what? I started like this. For prophecy's sake, the Lord is is with America. In other words, the Lord is leading America to his own destruction. Okay? That's the best way I could say it. What's happening, the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is with the other nations. Okay, he's against America, but he's allowing America to build so much. Matter of fact, let me just get to the scripture. Because as I'm saying it, the scripture says it already. I'm going to start at Jeremiah. I want to do Jeremiah 51, but I'm going to start at 50 and then I'm going to jump to 51. I'm not going to do the whole thing. Jeremiah 50, verse, I can start at 23. It says, matter of fact, let me go up. No, I start at 22 because it jumps all into it. Everything that he's saying is prophesied. Jeremiah 50 and 22. A sound of battle is in the land, and of a great destruction. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder? And what did this man say? Like, so America do whatever they want, however they want. Stephen Miller did an interview with, I guess, somebody from CNN. Not hiding it, not just being blatant of the hatred that he has. Basically saying, we have the might, we have the power, we could do whatever the hell we want. Who's going to stop us? That's what he was saying. So America has been prophetically the hammer of the earth. And what do you do with hammer? You beat down your opponent. You beat down your enemies. So the Lord is using America as the hammer of the earth. And like that, the guy said, I mean, anybody in Africa can get it. Anybody can get it. He's targeting Cuba. He's targeting Greenland. He's targeting Colombia. Word on the streets, which is no longer the word on the streets, is that they use um, weapons on people that's not heard of. They said that like 20 of them went in, killed like hundreds of guards, not because they spiritually, the Lord, like the Lord's with them. When the Lord's with them in the left hand side, and he took down everybody. They said that people's they use weapons. I did that show too. They use weapons that made people feel like their brain was gonna explode, and they were shooting up everybody, and not a scratch coming onto the people. So Yahweh Bashem Yahushai has propped this man up. He's given him. Esau's living within in the means of his blessing. All right, but this hammer of the earth is going to be cut off. Is going to be broken. It says, and broken. How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations? So this is a question, a form of a question. And the answer is because the Lord is going to destroy this place. I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and I was not aware that thou art found and also caught because thou has strived against the Lord. So this place is fighting against the Heavenly Father. And like Stephen Miller said, who's gonna the biggest superpower in the world? Who's gonna stop them? Jeremiah 51:1. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I will raise up against Babylon. So what's happening now? So yeah, everybody's watching. Everybody's not in fear because the Lord's gonna raise them up. He's giving them the same weapons that America has. The super soldiers, guess what? China and Russia has the same super soldiers as well. All right. So everything, the stake of war has gotten to another level. This has been a race of arms that was going on from 1949 until now. There's been a weapons of arms. All right. Who has a better armory? It says, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me, a destroying wind. And what is that destroying wind? It's talking about those ICBM nuclear missiles. All right. The missile head is going to ignite in the Earth's atmosphere, which is going to lead to rain, fire, and brimstone, and which is cause a wall of fire. All right. Verse 2, I will send unto Babylon fanners. What is a fanner? Fanner is something to add to the fire. All right. So the fire is going to be lit. Is going to be lit by the ICBM nuclear missiles, and the chariots is also going to add to it. But prior to this destruction, there's going to be a lot of division, a lot of civil war. All right. Just a constant state of war. Unsettling times is coming. So the Lord is just adding to this destruction. This is the end of the movie. This is when the action kicks in. That shall fan her and shall empty her land, for in the day of the Lord, in the day of trouble, they shall be against her round about. So yeah, what he said is true. If America decided to go into Africa, nobody's going to stop them. Everybody has to come together, and that's what's going to end up happening. You know, it's the end of this story, really, and realistically, the whole entire world coming against this mighty empire. All right, just the whole world, from America's allies to his enemies, all going to turn against this place. That's the story. It says, against him that Beneth let the archer bend. Those that have the nuclear missiles, proving that not everybody's going to have a nuke. What I mean by that, I mean, maybe some places in Africa is not going to have a nuke. All right. The main places: Russia, China, North Korea, Iran, and so forth. And all of NATO. All right. It says, and against him that lift up himself in his brigadine, which is, you look up that word brigadine, is armory. All right. So he's proud of his weaponry. He feels protected. Right. And spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her hosts. Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldees. So the Chaldeans were the illuminated of their time. Okay, so sometimes the scriptures tell you about the Chaldeans, and when you go into, was it? I believe it's Daniel second chapter, and it talks about the people that was called to interpret Nebuchadnezzar's dream, and then mention of the Chaldeans. When you look up the word Chaldeans in the Hebrew, actually, I don't think it's the same word, but I think it's the same definition. Yep, the Chaldees. It says it's really the third definition. Those persons are considered the wisest in the land, by extension, now plural. So who will be considered the wisest in the land? The illuminated ones. This is all part of their back, and this is all part of their plan. Right? So the Lord said, what? Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans. And the main hub for the Chaldeans, the elites of the New World, is America. And they are thrust through in her streets. For Israel have not been forsaken, nor Judah of his power, of the Lord of hosts, though the land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. So at the end of the day, this whole entire war atmosphere is because what the people have done to the Lord's chosen people. How about that? Flee ye out of the midst of Babylon, deliver every man his soul, be ye not cut off in her iniquity. For this is the time the Lord's vengeance, and he will render unto her a recompense. And it's talking about here. The recompense is not reparations. The recompense is the payment. And that payment is not going to come in the form of dollar bills or coins or anything. That payment is going to come in the form of, we're going to put you into captivity. We're going to harm you the way you harmed us. All right? Except for the abominable things that you have done unto us. It says that Babylon have been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. So the drink is the philosophy. Now, they took out Maduro from his position of power, for them following the democracy that they was following. So they drunk of that cup, yet they America reneged on everything. So the Lord is pounding, harming these other nations and giving them all the philosophy, the wrong things to do for themselves. All right. So the nations, when they see what happened, they realizing like, nah, this ain't right. Just like that man he mentioned. I don't know what African country part of country that he's from, but he made some valid points. All right. When they want to come after you, they'll come after you. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain, if she may be healed, which is the medicine. What is that medicine speaking of? It's speaking of all these different um, bailouts, all these different avenues to extend the empire is not working no longer. I was watching Kim Iverson show briefly, and she was making mention because I did the show on Stephen Miller. Somebody else put a video talking about how brilliant Trump is, trying to get. He know that the economy is going down, so he's trying to infiltrate all these nations for natural resources, so that way it could prevent the crash not to go. Something to that extent, which is completely off. But that's their hope. Okay, that's their hope, that the pain goes away. If so be she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed, and that's the point. No matter what they do, they can't get out of their own stench. All right, forsake her. Let everyone say, let let us go, everyone to his own country. So that, yeah, they're kicking people out. They're using ICE. to do it. And some people just saying, you know what, I'm done with this place. They fleeing. Either way, people are running out of this place. It says, and let us go everyone to his own country, for her judgment have reached unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. So her judgment has crossed the feet of Yahushua. So now Yahushua has to enact. So the question statement would be, who can take America down? Who can take Babylon down? Yahushua can. All right, Yahushua can. The Lord have brought forth our righteousness. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of the Lord our power. Make bright the arrows, gather the shields, which is talking about those nuclear missiles. Gather the shields, raise up the spirit of the kings of the Medes. And the king of the Medes, the Mede, if you look at the old ancient map, the land of the Medes, or Gog and Magog, which is Gog from Magog, is in the land of Russia today. So the Lord said he raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes. So this is why when they bombed Venezuela, it was like, what's going on here? Right? And even some African countries, um, we can understand Africa's a continent, but it said each, what we consider states, would be his own entity, period. So, but his device is against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple. So the Lord, the great equalizer, yeah, America is mighty. America is strong. But what can take what can take this place out the quickest, easiest way? Those ICBM nuclear missiles. Who could take out a bully? Everybody. If everybody get together, they could take the bully out. And right now, this is what the world is attending to. Take out the bully. Take out the trap. Like, yeah. Bullies get beat down, punished. All right. Eventually get knocked the fuck out. And it says, the Lord have put, no, sorry, make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord have raised up the spirit of the Medes, for his device is against Babylon, destroy it. And the Lord propped up this empire, this mighty empire. And now that this mighty empire is showing its true colors, which everybody's seeing was unspoken of, even its own citizens is now speaking against it. And this is all part of the plan of the Lord. What we're seeing is a perfect takedown or teardown of an empire. All right. It says, because it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple. Who are the Lord's temple? His people. At the end of the day, is that old beef. Okay, the Lord never say, you know what, it's been a long time that happened. Everybody should just get together. Hell no. It's all that old beef. Set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Who are the watchmen? Us, the prophets. All right. Set up the watchmen. Prepare the ambushes. For the Lord have both devised and done that which he have spoken against the inhabitants of Babylon, which is a true form, because the missiles are going to come as ICB undetectable. Just like how, what was it? Was it Saturday or Friday? I think it was Friday. Russia, Russia had sent down uh not a nuclear ICBM, but they sent forth new ICBM capability missiles that was rating the fastest speed of light. All right, fastest speed of light. So when this thing happens, it's gonna come as a thief, and we're watching it take place. We're the watchmen. It says, "Oh, that dwellest in upon my waters, abundant in the treasures, thy end is come." Would that remind me of Ezekiel the 28th chapter? We're talking about Tyre Zidon, the king of Tyrus. All right. It says, "In the measure of thy covetousness, the Lord of hosts hath sworn by himself, surely, saying, Surely I will fill thee with men as caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. And he made the earth by his power, and he established the world by the wisdom, and have stretched out the heaven by his understanding." Talking about Yahweh, the Most High Himself. So this bravado, America is the greatest country on the planet Earth. These people have science. They wiser than anything. The Lord propped up, took a beast people and put them in a position, cleaned them up, allowed them to get cleaned up, talk somewhat proper English. They could communicate somewhat. All that to tear this man down. Hey, Hashem Yashar for being an Israelite. So yeah, the nations are coming together. The nation realizing America's a problem. This whole thing with Greenland. Now they want to buy Greenland. They want to give people money and so forth. America is completely proud as all hell. I'm trying to look for another nice word, but they're proud as hell. And the Lord is gonna take them out within their pride. All right? Because they're not gonna see what they're not gonna be able to bear what's to come. So with that being said, shalom to the elect of the nation Israel. Shalom.